Okay, so I don't think we're coming in this early, but this is simply a test to see if I remember how to stream. Actually, I should probably move that off of the screen here. Alright, so let's see which one of the accounts this is currently hooked up to. Okay, this is hooked up to the politics stream. Alright, so here, this is what I see, so you can get an idea for the delay here. Alright, so let's see which one of the accounts this is. So yeah, that's about 25-30 seconds, I think, which is standard. So here, let's share this with some people who said they don't want to watch this. But here we go. Alright. So yeah, live stream. So again, this is just a test to make sure I remember how to do this, because I think I might be doing this for some blog posts. So yeah, YouTube seems like a much better way to do this rather than SoundCloud. SoundCloud actually has a limit of how much you can upload, and if you want to upload more, you got to pay. And quite frankly, I don't have enough viewers to make that worthwhile. So we're not going to be doing that for much longer. Vocaroo, I can upload smaller things to there, but I don't know how long they keep them, and I would like to keep all of my recordings for as long as possible, ideally forever. Okay, so let's talk politics. So me, you may be wondering where I fit. This is my polycomp. Now, I know that the polycomp has been criticized as being incorrect and inaccurate, but it is a well-known, popular method that people use to judge where they are politically. The actual numbers, all of this background, this red, blue, purple, green, the grid, these numbers, these things have all been criticized. But this little red dot here is something that you can use to compare where you stand compared to where somebody else stands. And that remains true even if the rest of this doesn't work. It is something that a lot of people have done, and you can compare where you are compared to where I am, and this is where I am, or where I was on May 1st. And in general, for those wondering, and I will be as transparent as possible, this is the general area where I have been in the past. And this little crescent here is usually where I am. I've returned here. I was here for a while in my mid-20s, but I've swung back here apparently. So this is where I usually am, right around the center, maybe a bit to the left of the center. But that's where I am. So I'm hoping that that plus my efforts that I make to be nonpartisan, to be neutral, allow me to present things in a neutral way, that I'm not going to be biased. Of course, everyone's always going to be biased, but I try as hard as I can to be non-biased, and hopefully that is something that you guys do see when I do my work. Now, I'm going to look through some of the other files I have here to see if there is anything that I can present that may be of interest. I doubt it, but we'll see. Oh, yes, I love showing this off whenever I get the chance. Again, if you've seen a previous live stream, you've seen this. This is the logo for the Canadian Alliance just before merger. You can check it out on Elections Canada's website by clicking on pretty much any logo and just changing the end of that to be, what is it, .ca? Let's double check here. So I'm going to go into my bookmarks, so you can see how far back that is. Going to the list of all the registered political parties. So here they are. These are the current registered political parties. And I'm just going to click on one of these at random. Here we go, the Marxist-Leninists, and I'm going to open the image in a new tab, and you'll see here at the end, this is kind of tells you which image you're looking at. So if I go see I think it's a JPEG? JPG, I think? No. So it is not a JPG, it might be JPEG? Nope. GIF. No. Okay, so it's not one of these, so I gotta remember what it is. See, this is why you would want to prepare before you start babbling on a live stream, so that you're not actually doing this. PNG? Would they be up to date? Well, let's actually check what the original image is. The original image is a GIF, ca.gif. Oh, they might have gotten rid of it. Well, that would be unfortunate, because they did have that just a little while ago. Well, if that's the case, that's the case. I can tell you it was here. This is where I got the image from. Looks like they may have now gotten rid of it, which again is unfortunate, because then there is no proof. But I do have a previous live stream where I have gone and shown off that it does link here, so that remains the proof. Let me see here. Images. Look. Maybe it's CA. Nope. No, it looks like they've gotten rid of it. Well, that's unfortunate. I know they used to have the old... Yeah, there's an old PC... See, this logo is not here. This is currently the logo for the Progressive Canadian Party, this one. So they do actually keep the old logos. BC 2008 BC. So there you go. But yeah, looks like they actually got rid of that old CA logo, which is unfortunate, because then I can't show that off to you. But that is where I got it from. That is the old CA logo. That is actually what they used. You might be wondering, well, when did they use this? I never saw this. Well, no, you didn't. They switched to this about a month or two before the merger. While that merger process was going on, that's right when they switched to this. So they never had a chance to actually use this in an election. Now, I have stumbled upon this image as well. Now, I cannot say that I took this image from Elections Canada, because I did not. I took it from elsewhere. But the format of this image, the size of it, the way it's presented, all that fun stuff, suggests to me that this was the official Reform logo before they became the Canadian Alliance. Now, just as this other Alliance logo, that would mean neither one of these two had a chance to get used in elections, because the switch to the other party, the mergers, all happened shortly before an election. So neither of these logos would have actually been used in an election, because they would have become a different party by then. So that's why you don't see those logos. That's why they're not in the public memory, because they didn't get used in an election. But I know for sure this Alliance logo, and I strongly suspect the Reform logo, were official logos of the party, and I have copies. I have backups of these copies, because I do not want to lose them. So, yeah, there you go. There's something interesting. Again, for those joining, which, let me see, my friends who I've told about is probably just the one guy who's been watching for a few minutes already. This is just a test to make sure I remember exactly how to do this, what I can do, what the limits are. So let me show off. This was the lawn sign I used when I ran for election. So Nick is my birth name, and I'm actually working on making Teddy my official legal name. But for now, my legal name remains Nicholas, officially. But yeah, so that is the election sign I used in 2003 when I ran for election in Prince Edward Island. Now, you may be wondering, oh, well, this guy's a New Democrat. That's where his priorities lie. Well, this is my Conservative membership that I held. As you can see, that expires in 2007. So I held that a short time after. If you'll remember that Polycomp test, this was when I was on the right. So I was a Conservative member. Now, a lot of people knew that I was a Conservative and a former New Democrat. And when I said I joined the Liberals, they said, "You sound crazy, Teddy." So here's my Liberal membership. This one I actually still have, but I am no longer a Liberal member. I have purposely let it lapse because I've disagreed with some of the decisions the government has made. But I do still have this physical card. I no longer have the Conservative card. That was cut in half and mailed back to Mr. Harper when he decided to go after, that coalition that Dion tried to put together. It wasn't so much the fact he was opposed to it, it was the language he was using to attack it that suggested coalitions were illegitimate always, that I strongly disagreed with. So that's one of the reasons I cut my membership in half and mailed it back to Steve, which is how I address that. And last but not least, I'm going to show off this image that I made. Now, I made this image when British Columbia was debating the HST. So here's the HST explained. So here we have, this is the PST. It's blue, $3 signs, it's blue. This is the GST, it's red dollar signs. PST is tax set by the province, the GST is a tax set by the federal government. The HST, which is purple, which is a mix in colors, is a single unit tax. So here is the provincial and federal taxman. You see here are two taxmen. This is one taxman. And here are the exemptions. So these are the things you don't pay tax on. Like in Ontario here, if you go to fast food, you get less than $4, you don't pay the provincial portion of the tax. So here is an exemption. This is no exemption. This is when they get rid of that no tax on the $4. So this is what BC and Ontario had. They had the two different taxes, they had the two different tax men, and they had exemptions. This is what Ontario and BC now have. They have the one tax, they have the one tax man, and they got rid of a lot of exemptions. Here's the problem. This is what voters think an HST is. They think it's getting rid of the exemptions. This is what economists who want an HST think the HST is. A single tax man, saves on administration costs. And here's the thing that's actually called the HST. It's that single tax. Well, this is what Quebec has. Quebec has two taxes, but they have one tax man and they keep a lot of exemptions. So why is Quebec getting HST money despite not having HST? Because they have a single tax man. More importantly, this getting rid of the exemptions has nothing to do with an HST. It has nothing to do with moving to a single tax. It is simply something that they did in order, when they brought in the HST. You don't have to get rid of the exemptions. So that makes it unpopular. But having a single tax makes it easier to understand. And having a single tax man is what actually gets your savings. It's actually why provinces are moving to an HST model, because of the single tax man. Well, because everybody is... Oh, my mouse is acting up. Because everybody's worried about these exemptions, you're going to lose out on a single tax and a single tax man. And both of these are frankly great ideas. So that's my whole argument with this little rant here that I've put together, is that... and it did lose. This was before the BC referendum. It did lose, and that's the problem. Is that because they got rid of the exemptions, you've lost out on these two good ideas. And that frustrates me and upsets me. So there you go. There's a bit of my personal political opinion, which I try not to share too much on the blog. I try to be as neutral as I can. And last, just before I close out, I will show you this neat little image, which is polls. Now, you probably can't read this because of the resolution or whatever, so I'll try to zoom in on one of these. Here's a poll from 1951. You can see the PC Party at 31%, the Liberals at 51%, the CCF at 12.7%, Social Credit at 4%, and the Labour Progressives, or the Communist Party, at 0.7%. And here are the regional breakdowns. And I have 1994, 1993, over here I got 1983, I got 1990. So a lot of the remainder shows the transition when the bloc was introduced and when reform is introduced. But that's all for now. I'm cooking a pizza and it looks to be ready, so I'm going to end this live stream. Looks like I do remember how to do these. So thanks for watching, there's the pizza, and have a good day.